over the years, I've had quite a love-hate relationship with Pixar. Massive, huge Disney addict, but I feel Pixar is very hit or miss. When Soul came out last year, I loved it. And I'm so pleased to say that Luca is just as brilliant. It is such a beautiful film. I enjoyed every second of it. So it was released this year, and it is directed by Enrico Casarosa. I almost definitely pronounced that incorrectly. This is based in Italy. There's a lot of Italian dialect in this, a lot of Italian words. So if I say anything and mispronounce anything, I apologise. My Italian is very basic at best. This film has 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, which I think is a completely accurate rating. In fact, I might even give it an 8. I don't think I've ever given any Pixar film an 8. Is it better than Monsters, Inc.? I don't know. Either way, it's brilliant. So this is set on the Italian Riviera, and these two sea monsters become good friends, and one of them learns that if they go onto land, they actually embody a human, and they look human for all intents and purposes, and while they're there, they befriend another girl called Giulia, and it's all about them having adventures in their human bodies, even though Luca definitely wasn't allowed to do that by his parents. And it's about their freedom, but ultimately it's about the fact that they have to be disguised as humans in order to enjoy everything that the human land has to offer. And there's obviously the big risk that if they were caught as sea monsters, they would be chastised for being different. And ultimately it's a beautiful story of friendship and acceptance, and all done against the backdrop of a bike race, which they're competing, Luca and Alberto and also Giulia are competing for the prize money. So it's good fun. It's got a lot going into it. It was quite quick to get to the point. I'd say the first 10 minutes or so are all set in the ocean, give or take, or in the water. And then Luca discovers that if he goes onto land, he takes the appearance of a human boy. And the friendship he strikes up with Alberto is wonderful. And then we get Giulia coming along, and the three of them work so well on screen. And they're voiced by Emma Berman as Giulia, Jack Dylan Grazer as Alberto, and Jacob Tremblay as Luca. And Jacob Tremblay is obviously fantastic. Loved him in Room and several other things he's done. Really, really brilliant voice acting. I think they work really well together as characters. I think their voices work really well together. And the characters are so excitable. They do get, obviously, downhearted at times, but mostly they're very driven. They're very passionate. And that's so infectious and a lot of fun to watch. I have to say, Maya Rudolph voices in this. She voices Luca's mother, which I love. I absolutely love her. I think she's brilliant. Sacha Baron Cohen also voices Uncle Hugo. So there are some voices that you'll pick up along the way. The animation style is absolutely beautiful. As I said, Pixar can be hit or miss for me, and sometimes I don't think the animation is to my taste. But actually, here I think it's beautiful, and I just can't fault it. The colours are gorgeous. The water looks real to an extent. It's not a photograph, but it looks realistic, and it's just so beautiful to watch. The first time Luca, actually it was the second time, Luca transformed into a human boy, and his hair just gave a pluck forward, and it was just such a small little thing, and it really made me smile. Really great attention to detail in this. I think it's got a perfect mix of English. The film is in English, unless you're watching a dubbed version, of course. But there's quite a bit of Italian in this. Now, I have been learning Italian, so I could pick up some words, ragazzi and ciao, and little bits here and there. But it's not overabundant. So if you don't know any Italian, it's not going to hinder your understanding or enjoyment of the film. Really, genuinely, very pleasantly surprised by Luca. The film itself is, well, IMDb says it's an hour and 35 minutes, but actually there are 16 minutes of credits, and that means the film's about an hour and 20, which I think is a really healthy length for a family film that children are going to enjoy. A lot of animations these days are far too long. Children don't have that kind of attention span. Heck, I don't have that kind of attention span. So the length is really spot on. The narrative flows beautifully. The ending, which I will not divulge, is really, really lovely. This is the kind of film that could have a sequel. And I don't think I've ever asked for a Pixar sequel. I don't think there is a Pixar film where I've kind of watched it and went, I'd love to see what happens next. But actually, I would. Particularly with Alberto. I'd like to know what happens to his character. It's a really sweet film. Completely overjoyed with it. It's on Disney Plus, of course, and it may be one of the best Pixar films I've ever seen. Granted, for me, the bar is not very high because, as I said, a lot of their films are just not to my personal liking. But Luca is brilliant.